This one. All right.
Powered by Riverside.
All right, everybody. College football show. I'm P. Mac out here in Chicago, Illinois. That's Weeze over there in Medford Lakes, New Jersey. Just going to do a quick recap of week one of college football season. Sorry about the delay. Labor Day, families, dogs, cars breaking down on the highways. A lot going on. So sorry about the delay, but we're going to throw it up.
Great weekend of football, great weekend of family. It was all great.
Yeah, we had it was a great great Labor Day weekend. College football was I wouldn't call it boring. It was it wasn't not much happened the first week. Obviously, the biggest game we were excited about, Steve's Gators. That kind of went to crap.
Ooh.
We didn't even watch some of the second half. Like he was in there trying to find a will or a way, but he just knew Steve.
Sounds awful. The older I get, the more like, I'm not gonna. My family's all around. We're down almost what felt like could have been 50. It was 30, and I was out playing bocce ball by the fourth quarter, which almost never said about a game in my whole entire life for Florida. So that's, I'm sure, how most Florida fans feel. It won't be all about that, but it'll be a little bit about that today.
Yeah, tough for a Gators fan because very excited going in. You were. Yeah. I looked at it. So first topic, we'll let's just get into let's get into the Florida football team. So we'll do Florida, Miami, obviously that game, and then we'll talk about Florida State real quick. So Florida,
a little bit of the same old Florida. Florida State, shocking, even though Florida might be the worst outcome. Horribly shocking for Florida State. They feel
let's go with Florida first. So Gators were at the Brewery. We're watching. I think it was 10-0, and then that 71-yard run. It was their only offense the whole game. You guys had, I think.
I saw the same things that I've seen for the last 2 years with the team. Undisciplined, very questionable 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 draw plays, end arounds. I mean, stuff that you feel like a good offense can get, even on even in a bigger game, but at home. And it was the same stuff. It was the same play calling issues, same lack of discipline. Couple of huge third downs that were stopped, roughing the passer, stuff out of teams that even if they're talented, even if they have good years, you're like, man, that stopped us from being good to great. Well, Florida, it's taken them from maybe above average to average or worse at times. It's the same stuff. I'm not saying that's the year, but I'm saying that one game is how the last, I guess, if you call it 24 or whatever have been. So
yeah, it's horrible.
Horrible. Same old. Different players, same colors, same results.
Was bad, 41 points let up, but the offense, besides that 71-yard run, I think the offense was even worse. It was bad.
Not without talent either. Just play calling and almost just a little scheme and just togetherness was wild. And the offensive line got beat, so everything starts there. Mertz never really had time. We do have playmakers. Didn't really get to see them and just got beat all the way around.
Yeah, Cam Ward was very good coming over from Washington State.
Yeah, they let him run around a little bit. He made a horrible pick. I mean, he's good. Whatever. It's more about Florida here than anything. But
so Billy Napier, what's the deal? You think hot seat or you think you're done with him?
No, but I already kind of was done with them. Off-season recruiting, they got guys, and I thought I already said this a while ago. Dan Mullen struggled with the recruiting, but an awesome game day coach and schemer, right? So the opposite. Napier was trying to build the Alabama type thing, just with all the coaches and all the strength and all the this and that. So getting the guys and building the culture, but not being able to make game day play calls and all. And I thought that was going to be the flip and say, you know what, maybe the talent will be good enough, almost like George's is, that it might not matter. Well, it does matter all the bit. You know what I mean? And it might be the talent is not quite as good as we thought. And even if it's a little lesser with the coaching and all, it's way down here. And it's one game in, but it's the same stuff. And I'll tell you what, I think Miami could still have won the SEC as we saw with them. And it's easy to say now. Could have won the SEC and would have been in people's already top 2 this year, top 3. who won the SEC and lost that game, whereas Florida, I feel like, needed to win that game to prove kind of who they were to start the year and start off on Harvard.
Now they're trending on to the over-under 4.5 wins. Now you see, maybe.
Well, now you look and you're like, they ain't getting 4.5, so that's plus
insane.
140 was pretty good.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's
start.
awful. It's one game, but that's more of a
shame. Dan Mullen, a couple of those guys. Dan Mullen, who they had before, and then
but Mullen,
nice guys,
Mullen
guys,
won 30 games in his first 3 years and got canned in his fourth, and Billy Napier's 12 and 25, something like that.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
And finally, since Urban Meyer, a lot of likable guys, likable coaches. They're just not.
Yeah,
it just hasn't worked out. Nothing's worked out.
12 of 25. Sorry.
Shame.
Yeah, really, really tough. So anyway, not much more to get in there. Horribly disappointing.
Yeah, so we'll go from there again. Again, it's week one, whatever. Getting the SEC, you never know. You still, have hope. Let's see what happens going forward.
But wouldn't be shocked if those things repeated themselves. Or we'll just find out that Miami's one of the top 4 teams in the country. Maybe that, I guess.
Yeah. They deserve their preseason ranking. They did.
Then you look at it late in the year, and they're like, "Wow, we lost that game, and that team is really good." So,
again. And then Florida State, obviously, we have.
That's almost Florida. Florida almost expected. Not a shocker with that performance, and I don't think that Florida State lost to 2 bad teams. I just think 2.
No, Boston College has a lot of hope. Probably more than the last 5%.
And Georgia Tech
they're big on
that trending up here. Yeah, I just think 2 losses and Uyunglele.
Horrible.
I don't know. All the NIL, the stuff. I don't like treasuring college kids. I'm getting older myself. I don't want to be that. But what has he done? He's been an average quarterback for 4 years now at 3 different places.
Yeah,
that's all he's been. And sometimes below.
Then we'll get into. We're going to do a preview show for week 2. We'll get into real quick the conferences and who has a shot. In the conference with FSU pretty much being out. There's some other teams in there. Georgia Tech, Louisville. Obviously, Georgia Tech's 2-0. We'll get into that during our preview show. But
just a little.
We will. Let me do this real quick. We will move on to second down. Our picks recap. Don't want to hit on this too much. It is what it is. We're picking the top 5 games of the week. We're not picking our favorite. I like someone plus 50. We're just doing our top 5. The top 5 big games of the week, we're picking against the spread there. We didn't do well. Weeze was 2-3. I was 1-4.
If you're a betting man, 2-3 is not the best thing to wake up to Sunday, but you can live with it. 1-4, you probably got pretty beat up.
Yeah, no, it was tough. So Penn State minus 8.5 at West Virginia. Long lightning delay. Penn State pretty much rolled them. It was looking good for us early. Weeze and myself both had Penn State. We're 1-0. On to Clemson and Georgia. Penn State lost a bunch of a couple really good receivers, but they replaced them in the transfer portal and recruiting. They look good. Penn State.
Penn State talent's there. They got the talent. That's what I'm thinking. Like going back to Florida real quickly. That's what I thought Florida could maybe get to. Maybe Franklin, knock them if you want, 10-2 a lot. Maybe not the best game day coach, but they're talented and they beat up on the easier teams and even solid teams all the time.
Yeah,
they do.
Yep. And then we got Clemson, Georgia. Just a complete joke.
Oh, my God.
Georgia on a vengeance tour after the Alabama game and not getting selected, I guess, last week. Carson Beck looks really good, and Clemson's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan won the national championship, but Georgia, you feel like this could be a team that won back-to-back with a similar roster.
Close early, It's close early. They're down 6.
I don't know if it's more about Georgia. I think it's like Georgia, the new Bama, same old. Georgia lumped somebody up in the opener. Big shocker. But it was still impressive. But the Clemson, way more of the loser than Georgia the winner. I mean, the offense, 3 points.
And then we got Miami.
Team. Who cares? Everybody can score in college football nowadays. I get a national championship or a bowl game or a big game. You can only muster up 17 points, and you got held down. This is 3 again. This is crazy. It's crazy.
Bad.
For a really good coach.
We already talked about Florida and Miami.
Yeah, it's tough.
Miami minus 2.5. We both had Florida.
Yeah.
We
already went into that. Not much to say.
And we have winners and losers coming up next. You could put Florida in there too. The big one. Not too much talk about Florida. It's very, very disappointing. It's tough because every season we come in with Oklahoma. Florida,
yeah, I thought it was more about Florida.
We're so excited, and to happen this early, not even get through your cupcake. You always play who you play next week. You always play this team second week. I feel like you always play this team.
They were playing Sanford. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, I feel like you guys always play Sanford later in the year. You can't even get through the first 2. You scheduled Miami. Good for you. Can't
Yeah,
even
who we
get
have
through that
again?
and then start losing the SEC. It's already over.
Yeah.
It's just tough.
Yep.
And
All
then
right,
we
so
got
next
Notre
one,
Dame
who do
at
we have?
Texas A&M. No, Notre
Yeah,
Dame,
we did.
Texas
That was a
A&M.
big.
I lost. You had Notre Dame. I'm an idiot. I had Texas A&M. I
I don't
thought
know if you're an idiot.
just
That
with their
quarterback
recruiting,
didn't
they
help
always
him out.
had Texas A&M always has their receivers, always has a decent line tight ends, always can move the ball. Didn't
Yeah.
happen. Complete joke.
Yeah, Wegman. He didn't. He
And
didn't
then I
show
was
up
going to
like
go
that.
through. So I'll mention this. I'll mention Notre Dame this game in my winners and losers. So we won't get too much into this. But yeah, Texas A&M fraud. Notre Dame played well enough. They should have beat them by more. They played well enough.
Yeah,
And
but
now,
they played Notre Dame ball. I mean, Leonard was 18 for 30,
yeah,
158. Not crazy, but ran for
and I'll get
63 yards.
and
No
I'll get into the
turnovers.
Duke thing for my
Good.
winners and
Dude,
losers.
Freeman's
Yeah.
a good coach. I don't know if they have a ceiling of. Again, their schedule's easier than it's been over in years. They could be that.
So
That
their
soft,
hardest
funky
game
other
left.
level.
So with their hardest game left, Notre Dame is they have a 68% chance to win against USC in their final game. Other than that, they're between 75 and a 98% chance.
I know,
to
but I
win
just
every
think
game. Their schedule's zero. This was their
they're a
top
good
one,
team.
and then USC.
Yep.
You never
That was a
know
good
with some
win.
of those other teams. But yeah,
That's a good win against a talented team, whether they're going to be good or not. A&M still a
Yeah.
talented team on the road. Huge game,
Yep.
big win.
Yep. And then we got LSU at USC. We both had LSU.
Yeah.
LSU. Every time they had
Straight.
Nussmeier played great. He played really great, I thought.
Yeah, but that's three
Um,
straight for Kelly, right? And then the start of the year.
Yeah, and he blamed the players intensely. Then he blamed the other coaches. The defensive coordinator had a delay of game. Then he blamed himself at the end just because he said he has to.
Did he when he
Pretty
started
much-
blaming himself? Was that in the Southern accent again, or did he go back?
Yeah,
to
he probably got weird. He's an idiot.
Oh,
Yeah,
he is weird. He's a good football coach, but he's a weirdo. Yeah,
Yeah, he's weird. Yeah, he
it's weird.
yeah, just all that.
I do get the frustration though that like we can't. We're
horrible,
killing ourselves since I've been here. At the beginning, whether it's on me or the players, obviously a combo of the two.
Yeah,
That's a game.
and
that
their defense was horrible. Or sorry, their defense was not very good against the pass, but still they held them to 27.
Again, and in a modern college football game to start the year, it's not like that's horrible defense.
No, for Miller Moss playing amazing. His stats were amazing. Like 27's okay. LSU couldn't run the ball. LSU couldn't run the ball whatsoever. And I guess I did read.
Yeah, which is surprising. You always think that in that game it's going to be our SEC line play. Will maybe dominate the game if the talent's similar and the turnovers are similar. But USC came to play. Thoroughly surprised.
Yeah. Well, apparently they added.
I thought that was a 2-score. I thought that would have been a 2-score LSU win, honestly. So I was
and
most
there was a
surprised.
chance it was going to be that near the end. I think LSU took a 3-point lead. They were driving, and then a big penalty, and then nothing. Yeah. So and then LSU. I think USC added. Their defense was so bad last year. I think they added 100 pounds, close to 100 pounds.
Yeah.
On their defensive line, and it showed. It showed.
Sticking them boys up. Yeah, they played good.
Lincoln Riley, you got Lincoln Riley with a win, big win.
Yeah, they've been kind of written off. I'll give them credit. They were, it was the debacle.
Yeah, Miller Moss, the young kid, he looks great. The quarterback looks great.
No doubt.
We'll see.
All right, so that was
all right. That being said,
not a great week. We're going to try to bounce back.
No, there's not much going. There wasn't much going on last week. We're just going
to. These first two, besides the marquee games, and then this week are the least talked about weeks and the worst schedules we're going to have all year. We're jumping into conference play by week 3. Some already obviously will have, and it's going to be awesome. It'll be a little dry till then, but that's what we got.
100%. So we'll look into. We'll go third down real quick. We'll go winners and losers. I think you might be frozen there. Let's see. Yeah, you're live again. Quick winners and losers. Just a couple things. If you want, I'll start.
I'm just gonna do. We'll just do one each. I'll just do one each.
Yeah, we'll just go through. If you have a couple, I got Notre Dame, specifically Riley Leonard. I mean, he didn't play great, but he beats his old coach from Duke over to Texas.
Yeah, I guess it's whatever game you're more surprised by, and you were really heavily A&M. So to you, it feels like that's.
So that would be a winner. That would also be a loser, and that would be a loser for Texas A&M coach Mike Elko from Duke, losing to your old quarterback. So that's a winner and a loser there.
Nice.
So what do you got? Any
obvious,
winner
I
or
think
loser?
Game, just Florida loser by far. Obviously, you could put Clemson there, but I'll just go Florida by far the loser of the week.
Yeah,
Just
and
based
then you
on
were mentioning
potential
before you
expectation.
had you were big on Arizona making the playoff for one of your winners with Fafita.
Yeah.
It was. I know you mentioned them as one of your winners. It was a close game, but they scored 10 out of 12 possessions against New Mexico. They just scored every single time.
Yeah, they
I followed it a little bit.
yeah, they're gonna have games where they give up points, but it's impressive coming off of last year and losing their coach. But they got the
Yeah.
guys, and they kept the guys, and that's why I think they can get there. So they're gonna rip it up all year. The least watched team with some games that are going to be late and all that is quality. Is quality football.
Yeah.
And even going back to the bowl game last year.
Sure, yeah. So you got Arizona for a big
Maybe they haven't
winner
stopped.
there.
Maybe
61 points in week one. It was tied.
Mm-hmm.
It was close in the early third quarter. I think it was within 3 or tied, and they just pulled away. It could have been an upset. Could have ruined Arizona's season.
No doubt. So loser for me, Florida, and then number one again. I guess if it goes against a pick you thought was kind of a lock, I'll go loser LSU just because this is another year where they could listen. This could be a team again. You said Nussmeier, he looked good. This could be a team that goes, who knows, still 8-4, 9-3, 10-2, and who knows they lose on a spot because they lost the first game again. And it's hard coming back from that. I know it's a long year, and now it's a 12-team shamble. So you got games, but what a horrible start.
Yeah, it's tough, very tough. And I'll go,
especially in their mind. SEC has dominated those games in the last 15 years when they've started them.
It's very true.
They probably won all but one.
USC, obviously lose Caleb Williams, and then Miller Moss comes out, just
exactly
he handles your defense
because of who LSU is supposed to be still, and also because of where you thought maybe USC was. So once again, shocking. People are wrong about sports.
And I'll go a quick loser. Houston, I guess Donovan Smith, quarterback there, NFL prospect. Just lose 27-7 to UNLV going into Oklahoma next week. That's tough.
Oh yeah, that doesn't give you a whole lot of confidence.
Decent hopes for Houston.
Yep.
Now that they're Texas Oklahoma went to SC. That's a tough over there.
Absolutely.
So. All right, and we'll go into our last thing real quick here. We will call this our fourth down segment. We're going to call it Wilds of the Week. So just a wild play. A wild storyline, a wild game. Anything that happened that's wild. The Wilds of the week. Anything wild stick out to you?
Yeah.
And again, there's not going to be too much early on the season. Not too much wildness because it's early. There's a lot of blowouts.
That's why we got to kind of dig deep here. So maybe more of a personal thing that I followed throughout the week. I think it was Friday night. Could have been Thursday. It was Friday night. Greenwood College. 49.
Don't know who they are.
Don't know exactly. I didn't know who they were either.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I don't know if it was a D3 basketball school or what I was looking at, but they lost. They were 49-point dog against Kansas. Obviously, Kansas roll a team like that. Down 34 at half. We've seen this over the years. You're down 34 at half in a 49 point spread. They're going to get trounced. They held on 48-3 and covered to get a boost going into Saturday. So. Greenwood College. Maybe we'll give them a little shout out throughout the year.
So was it a personal thing? You know someone that went there? Or was it personal?
No, it's personal.
It helped out during the week. Helped out during the
couple shekels to get into Saturday.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I was able to buy a couple racks of ribs for this week for the smoker based on that.
For sure. Yeah, I'll touch down. So it was a late. Yeah, it does happen, and I'll go into that real quick to bounce off that. Like you said, when teams are big dogs and they're down, Stephen F. Austin was up 70-0 at halftime against North American University. Don't know what the spread was. So 70-0 up at halftime. They won 77-0. So second half, they only outscored them 7-0.
Like, how's that?
You would think, who cares? You took out your players. No. The coaches agreed at halftime, let's just do 5-minute quarters.
Never. Sign of the times.
Never heard anything like it.
Sign of the times. Unreal. Absolutely unreal.
Like it.
Unreal. JV basketball game, freshman basketball
game. Why even play the 5 though? Obviously, all right. Injuries could happen. It's gonna be an embarrassment. Just end the game. It's more embarrassing to.
There was a lightning strike. There's a lightning strike in the first half. There was a lightning strike in the first half, and it was called 70 points were put on you, and that was it. That's what you call it, lightning. due to
But
lightning.
also, like I'm sure Stephen F. Also, they're going to run the ball. They might score.
Yeah.
It might be 91-7 or 84.
Well, listen, you're always as a
Do
coach.
that.
There's guys on
Like,
all
you
levels.
really-
They had something to work on. I mean, yeah, all of them.
But the 5-minute quarters is literally just for the embarrassment. Then don't schedule to get.
You only get 12 of them, man. You need
North
everyone.
American University was crazy. So
No doubt.
anything
All right,
else?
go ahead.
Anything else crazy?
Short week. Not really. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I watched all this game or a whole lot of it, but Oregon, the glaring, you brought that up, Oregon by 10 in a 41 pass completion performance by your boy Gabriel is pretty. That's pretty entertaining. I mean, I don't know how you score 24 points against a team like that as a 49-point favorite, and you end up winning by 10. That's I'm sure that was a little cause for concern going into the next couple weeks for Oregon. Again, and it might mean nothing, but kind of funny to see just on the score sheet. Again, didn't watch a whole lot of the game, but had to mention that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
Sure,
I don't know how it happened. I'm sure the game was in hand, but to win by 10 and to be within a touchdown second half, that's with you said Gabriel 41 completions tied the Oregon record. That's
that's wild.
Interesting. Like Oregon, these kind of teams they score.
Yep.
They score 60 against. But yeah, that's kind of wild.
So the previews, obviously the main thing started this on. I think really it's not a recap. This is the post cap. So we're going to try to do these more often. I think as the weeks get better, the post is going to be really enjoyable. So not much to give you now.
Yeah,
There's a
not
couple
too
big
much
games.
now. So one last thing I'll talk
about. Not a whole lot this week. We'll still be on it, and we'll be doing it, and we're pumped. But really, week 3 and on is going to set another level. But it's college football. We'll be talking about.
We're going to get rolling then. So, and then we'll go over my last thing, or 2 more things. Do you see the USC, Kyron Hudson, the receiver, the one-handed catch?
Yeah. Sick.
Unbelievable.
Sick.
Unbelievable. With traffic,
like
two guys from LSU about to kill him. That was a probably going to be catch of the year unless someone pulls a Beckham,
Exactly.
Who knows? But
that was
and
awesome.
then last thing, Oklahoma. Not just mention it because we are Oklahoma, but Jackson Arnold looked good. Venables looked good. The defense forced 6 turnovers against Temple. And fun fact, kind of wild. Last year, Temple forced 5 turnovers all season against their opponents. So Temple had 5 takeaways last year. The whole last year, 2023, Oklahoma had 6 takeaways against Temple. Tough look for Temple.
And we'll be watching that game next year as it comes to Philadelphia for
we will be there. It will be at Oklahoma at Temple University in September of next year. So,
perfect. So,
all right, so a little recap.
Short week.
Short show today. I'll touch on real quick. We're gonna do a preview show for next week. We'll do that. That'll come out Friday. And we'll touch on, we're obviously game day in Ann Arbor. Got Michigan, Texas.
There's one big game.
What could have been last week. This is, it's a noon game, 11 a.m. here, noon Eastern.
Yeah.
Gonna be crazy. So we'll touch
National
on that.
champ,
We'll
national champs getting it. National champs getting a teeter at home. Wow.
Yeah, we'll touch on a breakdown of the top 25. With conferences and different things like that. We're gonna go over our game day food drinks. So if we just we'll do 3 options each. If we had to bring, we're hosting just 3 or 4 of us. What would we bring to the table to make it the perfect thing? We'll do that. And then we'll touch on our picks. Top 5 games of the week. We'll pick them against the spread. Bring that to you Friday.
On to week 2.
We're
on to week 2.
On to week 2. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
PMAC.
We will talk to you guys we'll post this, and then we'll post Friday. It might be posted the same day, but we'll get on track soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. That being said,
Powered by Riverside.
See you for the next one.